The president conceded that load shedding had disrupted South Africans' way of life while badly damaging the economy. The solutions being adopted to urgently deal with the power crisis are multi-pronged, with fixing Eskom right at the top of the agenda.
First, we are fixing Eskom, and improving the performance of our existing fleet of power stations. Over time, the maintenance program of Eskom's electricity generation fleet has declined. It is now been decided that over the next 12 months, Eskom will increase the budget allocated for critical maintenance to increase the reliability of its generation capacity.
Within the next 3 months, Eskom is set to buy surplus capacity available from existing independent power producers as well as private sector generators. It would also be buying surplus capacity from neighbouring Southern African countries. The president also indicated that Eskom was on the hunt for skilled personnel to plug the skills deficit that had worsened over the years at the utility. In the meantime, there's also going to be a push to procure new renewable energy capacity at an accelerated pace.
Our second priority is therefore to accelerate the procurement of new capacity. Capacity from renewables, capacity from gas and battery storage. The relevant government departments are working together to ensure that all projects from bid window 5 of the renewable energy program can start construction on schedule. This includes taking a pragmatic approach to the local content requirements for these projects, prioritizing the need to build new capacity as quickly as possible.
All South Africans are being asked to come to the party, with households and businesses who can being encouraged to install solar panels.
There is significant potential for households and businesses to install rooftop solar and connect this power to the grid. To incentivize greater uptake of rooftop solar, Eskom will develop rules and a pricing structure known as a feed-in tariff for all commercial and residential installations on its network. This means that those who can and have already installed solar panels in their homes or businesses will be able to sell surplus power that they do not need to Eskom.
But some are calling for clarity on the cost implications of all these proposals to the end consumer.
I think it's important that that matter gets clarified, because when we had a meeting with the president, there was no clarity on what will that cost. What will that cost be to the end user? Because also you don't want to, when you are trying to encourage people to move away from consuming Eskom power, to also punish them. Because if you do that, then a lot of people won't be able to take up that opportunity.
The president indicated that the country's energy blueprint, the Integrated Resources Plan 2019, would be reviewed to take into account the country's need for additional capacity and its climate change commitments. The Energy Intensive User Group, a body that represents big industrial producers, says the inputs in this process will be critical.
That's the one which will really determine what energy composition we have in the country. That process in itself is a consultative process where stakeholders have got to make their inputs. As the IUG, our view rather is that we need to make sure that as we compile that document, we make sure that it is robust in terms of technical needs of the grid, but also in terms of the least cost.
President Ramaphosa announced the setting up of a National Energy Crisis Committee, which is comprised of all key government departments tasked with ensuring the efficient delivery of electricity, namely the Department of Public Enterprises and Mineral Resources and Energy, among others. This committee will be drawing on the advice of business, labour and professional engineering groups and community groups to ensure that the plans announced are executed timeously. Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.